Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? It's me, your host, Big Corpse. This is the smoking section where we bring you the hottest topics because you know, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Thank you, everybody who tuned in to the live feed that we did. We did a smoking section live feed exclusively for Instagram. I did that with my partner, Cisco, aka Save. He touched on, a couple different topics, but one of them, which is my personal favorite, which is mental health. And he really dove into some of the things that he's dealt with, some of the traumas that he's dealt with, some of the methods that he dealt with to help him get through these changes in his life. That's my boy. We know each other from way back. And he's somebody that I could really rely on to always give me some solid insight and just truth. You know what I mean? I feel like when we get into these topics of conversation surrounding our health and mental health and, emotional health, social health, like I feel like there's such a huge stigmatism on it that we don't, put our true self out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we tell people, I'm having a good day, but in all honesty, we're not. And we do that, sometimes to try to save people from our hurt, like as if we need to protect them from our sorrows and our pains. And we talked about all that, man. So if you weren't on the live feed, if you didn't get to watch it, thankfully we will be doing a part 2 to the podcast of that. That one I do want to release onto Anchor and to all the other platforms where you can hear the podcast or see it on YouTube. It was really powerful, man, and that shit really made me feel good. It does lead me into today's topic. It's today's topic, I just want to call it choosing our battles, right? And choosing them wisely. Today's era, today's society and generation, as a collective, young to old, everywhere between 15 and I'll say 50. We are in such a weird culture of society where, people call it the outrage culture or cancel culture, which is now becoming a trending thing. And it's something that I feel like is also an indicator of our own mental health and is an indicator of who we are as people. And I want to just touch on this topic because this is something that has, affected me greatly over the years. And it's because, I am somebody who speaks my truth, and I speak it 110%. I speak it, wherever I go, whoever I'm with, no matter what. And so a lot of times that gets me in trouble because I say things that might go against politically correct views of today's society. Now, saying that, I do want to say that there's a quote that I came up with, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know how people might feel about it, but the quote goes, "Why conform to the sins of man when the sins of man may go against what your core beliefs are?" Right? So I will never conform to some of these beliefs that, just because, I disagree with something that I should get mad about it, or that if somebody disagrees with me or if we have differences of an opinion that we shouldn't be friends, right? That is a sin of man. Man has now led each other, man and women, right, have led each other into this weird place in our society today to where if somebody disagrees with you or you have a difference of an opinion, it's like you can't be friends with them. It's as if we were never taught to be diverse in our thought process or to be diverse with our friends, right? Now, a cool thing that I've seen being tossed around now is the term of echo chambers. And I feel like this society definitely, worldwide, definitely lives in echo chambers, meaning They live in an ecosystem, whether it's in their friends, their work life, all of it. They live in an echo chamber where everybody says the exact same things. They all believe the exact same things. They all want the exact same things, and la-di-da-di, right? Now, I am a firm believer in keeping people close to you who believe in things that you believe in. I also believe that, if you want to be successful in life, that you should surround yourself with people with like-minded ideas and goals. But that is not to discredit or to do away with the people who challenge our beliefs, who challenge our mindset, who challenges our practices. Like me as an artist, I had to come to the understanding that people look at art differently than I do. Where I have a very conservative, a conservative practice to artwork and its display, that I have such a conservative way, I allowed myself to be sucked into a echo chamber, right? And that put a stigmatism with me in the way that I believe, and where a lot of people began to distance themselves from me. And so I myself, I acknowledge that, and I'm trying to correct it. And so I also now encourage people more as well. Don't live in echo chambers. Live your life, yes, surrounded by people who want to bring abundance, and surround yourself with people who have the same goals, and surround yourself with people who think the ways that you do. But at the same time, you need 4 or 5 friends for every 4 or 5 friends that believe differently than you, that want to challenge your ideas, challenge your methodology, right? This whole thing of cancel culture, this whole thing of outrage culture is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People shouldn't be getting canceled for saying certain things because they don't believe in it, right? Just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean that I need to change my ways, doesn't mean I need to change my beliefs. Why don't you change yours? Why don't you change your ways? Why don't you change your beliefs? Oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, now the plot thickens, right? So instead of pointing fingers and wanting others to conform to how we live, we need to become more accepting and understanding. Now, there's some things in life and in society that are just out, right? You will never get me to live beside somebody who believes in hate, right? They hate somebody based on a color, or or their race, or the way that they practice their religions, right? Or religion. You will not get me to live beside somebody like that. I don't operate that way. It's poison to me. But my best conversations I have had recently have been with Trump voters and Trump supporters, right? And I'm a hardcore Democrat. I'm a conservative Democrat, right? I'm a conservative Democrat, though, however, who will be voting very liberal, in 2020. So even amongst my Democratic colleagues, I'm getting into discussions with them because there's certain things that the liberals want that I will not support. I will not support it. And that is okay. We all need to start kind of dissolving the lines of Republican, Democratic, straight or LGBT, white and minority. We need to start dissolving these lines a little bit. Get outside your echo chamber of people. Dancers, we have choreographers, and then we have freestylers, and then we have all these people that are in between. You know what I mean? We need to start recognizing each other as just artists. We are artists putting out creative artwork, right? If somebody doesn't like your craft, you should be able to listen to that and ingest it, right? The one beautiful thing to me about being a dancer was that I was always able to take a critique, because that is how we get better, by taking critiques. But now I feel like dance culture has gotten into, I make a piece of artwork and I only show love, or I only, give energy towards the people who are highly positively responsive to my artwork. right? I don't give any thought to the negative, and that's bad, right? That's well, it's a thin line because it's bad not to hear critiques, right? Because within the critique, there's two things, right? There is an effort to try to bring attention to something that you might need to get better at, right? And it also brings awareness to self that not everybody's going to like your work, right? And that is something I also preach. You know, put out your dancing, put out your music, put out your paintings or drawings or sketches or whatever. Who cares? Who cares what somebody's got to say? You know, don't be afraid of it, right? But that doesn't mean ignore it completely. That doesn't mean, you know, somebody who might be just as good at the craft, if not better, if they're trying to give you game. Y'all understand? Like, they're trying to put you on game so that you can be better, right? Like, that doesn't mean ignore something that they might be saying, right? Because there might be something that you're doing or a way that you're operating that might be disrespectful to the culture, right? Those are things that we need to start looking at and start accepting, right? And yes, that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean, like, you know, allow someone to control your life. That doesn't mean, oh, well, he said I'm not doing this right, so that means my whole dance career is a lie. Like, no, that's not what that means. What I'm saying is to people is you can change culture, right? But it starts with accepting that there's things that you might be doing that goes against the status quo. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So this whole outrage, cancel culture, you know, blocked culture, all the shit that's going around, like, it needs to stop. Like, we got to stop getting fake outraged for likes and retweets. We gotta stop it. We gotta stop it. We got to stop it. Like, we pay way more attention to the things that are making us mad or to the things that go against what we believe in, but we're not allowing somebody else to have their beliefs and their morals and their values, right? Not every house is built on the same foundation. We need to understand this. We need to accept this. We need to embrace it. And above all, we need to encourage it, right? If my son played baseball, you know, on a Saturday morning, and if he was 0 for 4, leaving the field on 4 strikeouts, I would hope that the coach would look at him and say, Elijah, you suck. We need to work on your batting. I would hope that the coach would pull him inside and be like, you know what? We got to practice. We need to get you better so that you don't, you know, strike out every time at bat. Because I would be extremely disappointed and infuriated if a coach looked at my son and said, oh, it was because the sun was out, or oh, it's because, you know, the wind was blowing, or oh, it's because, no excuses, right? If someone needs to get better at something, they need to get better at it. If there's something that they're doing wrong, they're doing it wrong. There's no one way to skin a cat for sure, right? But there is an easy way to lie to people. And that's not giving them the value in which you see, right? It's not giving them the facts in which you see. It's not giving them the opinion in which you feel, right? And people will say, well, you know, an opinion is not a fact. But it's a fact to you, right? It's a fact to you. Nobody will ever get me to agree that pickles fucking taste good, right? Pickles are nasty, and that's a fact to me. That's my opinion on the matter, but in my head, it will be a fact until my taste buds tell me otherwise. I hope that makes sense. I hope everybody can understand, you know, the slight craziness that we have to be living in, especially as motivators, inspirers, artists, and people who have ones that we love around us that we want to see do better in the future, right? these things like cancel culture, these things like, the outrage culture all over Twitter and Facebook, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. We got to teach kids that it is okay to sit across the table from somebody that you don't quite agree with. Perfect example of my own life, right? I've been with my lovely girlfriend for 5 years. We have a beautiful baby boy who's soon to be 2. And it's, mind-boggling to me that some people break up with their boyfriends and girlfriends because they don't believe in the same religion. Me and my girlfriend do not believe in the same religion. I don't believe in religion at all. I do believe in God. I do believe in, a higher power. I do believe in, my spirituality. I believe in all that. But I am not a Christian. And she's a Christian. Her family are devout Christians, born again Christians. And that's just not something that I will ever subscribe to. It's not something I would ever buy into. It's something that I just know in my heart of hearts is just not for me. Right? Now, all the other parts, that people want to get into the arguments of this and that, it's a history book, oh, Jesus this, Jesus this. Okay, whatever. By all means. And we can have that discussion. But it's not going to offend me that she's a Christian. It's not going to offend me that she goes to church on Sunday. It's not going to offend me. It's not going to make me want to break up with her. If anything, it makes me love her more because we can look at each other across the table and say, you know what, we have a difference of an opinion, and we can work past it. I can still love you. I can still love you. You can still love me regardless of this fact. And to me, that's the most powerful of it all, When you step outside of the echo chamber, you hear the sweet sounds of what life could really be. I need to write that one down. That one was a good one. Podcast listeners, write that shit down. When you step outside of the echo chamber, you can hear the sweet sounds of what life could truly be, right? On that note, I'm going to leave it there. I think that was an awesome fucking quote. I think this has been a good podcast. I want to say thank you to everybody. I'm working on, I've done one full year now doing podcasts. It gave me a little choked up, I'm sorry, but I just want to say thank you to everybody. As you guys know, I've been doing these podcasts, I've been doing the vlogs, everything in an effort just to share my story, to share my insight with the world. I feel like I've always had a gift of gab, just an uncanny ability to storytell and to convey a message. And so I hope that this brings you value. I hope that this helps you find an avenue in life. I appreciate all you guys. It's been 1 year, and I just can't thank everybody enough. Every single subscriber, every single, listener, every person who's ever shared it, anybody who's liked it, or anybody who has ever just thought of even playing one of these. I appreciate you guys, right? And if this is your first time, I hope it's not your last. Follow me on Instagram, man, @Korpse. It's KORPSX. Let's chat. Send me a message if you want to talk about this. Let's connect. I'm really, really, really trying to get more engaged with my audience and engaged with any followers or friends that I might have on here. Even if we talk a little or talk a lot or we've never spoke at all, send me a message. I will respond. Give me time. I have a son. I have a business that I run. I do these I'm busy. You know what I mean? But I will respond. I promise. Like, if you see seen, there will be a response coming. Like, I'm probably either thinking about it at the moment, but when I read it, I reply to it. Yeah. So holla at me on there. I want to do more of this with everybody. I want to get more involved with my peoples. I want to share more. Give me topics to talk about. I love to talk about mental health. I love to talk about sports. I love to talk about business. I love to talk about relationships. I love to talk about kids, pets, whatever the fuck y'all want to talk about. Let's do it. Yeah. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. It's Friday, Freaky Friday. Go cash them paychecks and get to the club. Yeah, I'll holler at you guys later. I hope you all I'll see y'all later. Stay motivated. Bang.